It is the top of the hour and you are watching VTV News live from Hanoi. I am Minh Hằng and these are today's headlines. Vietnam prioritizes dealing with climate change. Vietnam fronts share experience on civil protections and security. And traditional music of Chovan singing presented in new style to approach foreigners. First up for today, now creating laws to tackle climate change was the focus of the United Nations General Assembly held on Tuesday in New York. Deputy Prime Ministers and Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh attended the event as a representative of Vietnam.
To address climate change.
Speaking at the event, Deputy Prime Minister Phạm Bình Minh called for commitment and more effort from other countries to complete a global legal framework for addressing climate change in 2015. This is the best way, he said, for the world to hold global temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius.
Vietnam calls on developed countries to increase commitments and actions to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions under the second commitment period of the Kyoto Protocol, provide finance and technology for developing countries to mitigate and adapt.
Deputy Prime Minister Minh also announced Vietnam's specific effort in reducing greenhouse gases and adapting to climate change, as well as the nation's willingness to cooperate with the international community toward developing a global agreement on climate change. His speech was celebrated by Vietnam's allies.
Vietnam always proves its activeness in building important and long-term policies. At the same time, the country also prioritizes adaptation. Vietnam has chosen green development as an effective measure to reduce greenhouse gases. Thus, the world has highly appreciated those efforts of Vietnam.
The one-day summit drew the participation of 125 governmental leaders and many representatives from diverse sectors, including science, finance and environment. Delegations agreed to increase the use of renewable energy sources and committed millions of US dollars in aid to help developing countries deal with climate change. Speaking at the summit, UN Secretary Ban Ki-moon assessed this as a historic day.
Never before have so many leaders gathered to commit to action on climate change. I thank every one of you who came to New York with ambition and commitment.
Together to address climate change.
Also during the event, delegations approved the agreements on improved forest management and protection. In addition, a $200 billion fund to fight climate change was established and will be launched at the end of next year, $30 billion of which comes from commercial banks. Now, on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, Deputy Prime Minister cum Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh met with the foreign ministers of Paraguay, Ukraine and Colombia. Speaking with Paraguay's Foreign Minister Lloyd Zaga, Minh asked for Paraguay's support for Vietnamese shipbuilding company and particularly for VTVNews' future plans to build ships and barges in the South American countries. And in his talk with Ukrainian Foreign Minister Kim Minh said that the Vietnamese government is deeply concerned about the security of the 10,000 Vietnamese currently residing in Ukraine. He expressed his wish that the Ukrainian government would protect the livelihoods of the Vietnamese community. In meeting with Colombian Foreign Minister, the Vietnamese Deputy Prime Minister asked Colombia to support Vietnamese telecommunications and petroleum enterprises looking to do business in the South American country. The Vietnam's Days in the Netherlands Festival, a Dutch celebration of Vietnamese culture, kicked off in The Hague on September 23rd with the participation of Deputy Prime Minister Hoàng Trung Hải, who is currently on a working visit. Addressing the event, Deputy Prime Minister said that Vietnam values ties with the Netherlands, especially since their strategic partnership on climate change adaptation, water resource management, agriculture and food security was established. He expressed his hope that the 4-day the event would further improve understanding between both nations. Earlier, the Deputy Prime Minister met Amsterdam's Mayor van der Laan, who affirmed the city's commitment to cooperating with Hanoi on urban planning and management, trade, education, and training. The mayor also took the occasions to invite Vietnam to attend the International Water Week scheduled for October 2015. As part of the 32nd ASEAN Ministers on Energy meeting, or AMEM, and related meetings, a conference on energy securities in East Asia was held on Wednesday in Vientiane, Laos. The conference drew the participations of the East Asian Summit, or EAS members, which include ASEAN countries, as well as Australia, India, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, and the United States. At the conference, delegates agreed on the need to strengthen energy securities in light of recent developments in the global energy market. They said that East Asian Summit countries needed to take actions toward improving energy efficiency, developing open and transparent markets, and promoting alternative and renewable energy. The energy ministers also noted that by 2035, the energy consumptions of East Asian Summit countries would account for approximately 65% of global demand. A French-Vietnamese conference on civil protections and security yet took place in Hanoi on Wednesday. The event was co-organized by the French Export Promotions Agency as well as the French Interior Ministry, with the support from Vietnam's Ministries of Public Securities and the Ministries of Agriculture and Rural Development. At the event, experts from both sides exchanged expertise on firefighting and preventions as well as rescue services.
There were over 2,000 fires and over 40,000 accidents in Vietnam in 2013, according to a report from the Department of Fire Prevention, Fighting and Rescue Police. The damages cost up to tens of millions of US dollars, and the Department of Fire Prevention, Fighting and Rescue Police is stepping up its efforts to modernize and develop firefighting and prevention equipment.
Về tính chất vụ cháy ngày càng nghiêm trọng.
The fires are getting more serious, especially fires caused by chemicals. We must invest more in firefighting equipment and technology. The conference is a great chance for us to learn more about firefighting and rescue services.
France is one of the leading countries in firefighting and prevention, as well as developing advanced equipment in the field. According to Colonel Ulec Bruno, an expert in the field of civil protection, Vietnam needs to focus on 2 points in order to improve its fire services.
First, you need to reorganize your services, make improvements in recruitment and training processes, and provide advanced equipment for firefighters so they can arrive at the scene as fast as possible. Secondly, firefighters need to teach common people how to prevent fire effectively.
Besides firefighting and prevention, French experts also shared experience in how to provide clean water in case of flooding and emergency situations, as well as in the field of rescue at sea and maritime security.
The Ministries of Finance is proposing to remove the cap on corporate advertising expenses. At present, advertising expenses that go beyond 15% of corporate spending are not tax deductible. Businesses point out that this cap has caused difficulties in promoting companies' images and competitive advantages. Our next story explains the impacts that this proposal may have.
This company focuses on advertising. If the cap on corporate advertising is removed, it will open up growth opportunities for the company.
The removal of the 15% cap is reasonable in my opinion, because companies can invest more in their products, and advertising agencies like us can reach more clients and produce higher quality services.
The reason behind the cap is that too much advertising spending will raise the price of products. However, market research specialists believe that businesses are capable of adjusting their costs to make profits.
Advertising spending is reasonable and legal. It must be shown in invoice and receipt and the advertising products. If one abused this, it will be illegal and subject to fines.
The Ministry of Finance reveals that many countries across the globe and even ASEAN nations have removed the cap. The move is deemed appropriate as Vietnam is going to be part of TPP and the ASEAN Economic Community.
Removing the cap will enable both big and small companies to find better advertising solutions. Small companies can build stronger positions within the domestic market. Big companies can have their products compete with foreign ones. This means more made in Vietnam products will penetrate the global market.
The latest updates from the government office reveal that the Prime Minister has green-lighted the proposal. This will be reported later at the coming National Assembly meeting slated for this October.
Vietnam Airlines announced 2 new direct air routes from Phu Quoc to Singapore and to Siem Reap, Cambodia, in a press conference on September 24th in Ho Chi Minh City. Now, starting from November 2nd, 2014, the new routes from Phu Quoc Islands to Singapore will operate 2 flights per week using a 321 aircraft. 3 flights per week to Siem Reap, Cambodia will start flying on December the 18th using ATR 72 aircraft. A new 5-star Vinpearl Resort will also be inaugurated with the new launch of the new routes, all part of a master plan to develop Phu Quoc into a special economic zone of Vietnam. These activities will help boost tourism and attract more investment in Phu Quoc Island. Still in the economic news, Vietnam's pepper export have surpassed the $1 billion mark for the first time, according to latest figures by the General Department of Vietnam Customs. Since the beginning of the year, Vietnam has exported 136,000 tons of pepper, equivalent to $1.02 billion in revenue. It is estimated that the year-end figure will amount to $1.2 billion. The rise in export revenue is attributed to increase in both price and volume. Vietnam currently makes up around 1/3 of the global pepper supply. Among the biggest importers of Vietnamese peppers are the United States, the United Arab Emirates, the Netherlands, and India. High-tech solutions for Vietnam's agriculture needs have been considered as important means to develop the nation's agriculture sectors and rural economy. Favorable funding policy have been pioneered in many regions, allowing farmers to access modern equipment. In our next report, let's visit the southern province of Bạc Liêu, the first one to apply high technology in shrimp farming.
Intensive shrimp farming in glasshouse by Hai Nguyen Company yields from 5 to 7 times more than usual. However, initial investment for these amounted to 6 billion dong or $280,000 per hectare. The company could manage such investment thanks to the policy that allows companies to borrow without collaterals.
Để được tiếp cận cái nguồn vốn.
Small enterprises really need external funding for high-tech projects. Thanks to new policy, companies like us can now take on these huge projects.
In order to be eligible for such loans, enterprises must be certified by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the Ministry of Science and Technology to apply high technology. They are allowed to borrow 70% of the required capital investment.
Enterprises that apply high technology in agriculture can borrow with or without collateral. This helps more businesses access loans.
While shrimp diseases are on the rise and quality requirements for shrimp imports from Vietnam are getting stricter, high-tech applications stand as a solution. Though some high-tech projects in agriculture have yet to access funding, these incentives are creating big opportunities for such projects to be multiplied.
Now, it has been the longest drought that the farmers of south-central coastal province of Fubian have ever seen. 9 months without rains, the farmers see both the harvest and their incomes decimated.
Sugarcane is a staple crop of Fubian farmers. However, this year, due to prolonged drought, they see the crop wilting in the field. With climate change comes erratic environmental behavior and lost harvest, raising concern over how the farmers in the region can continue to earn a stable living.
I have not seen a drought like this in the past 35 years. Normally, this time of the year is a harvest season already. This year, we have nothing. Here in the region, sugarcane is our main livelihood. However, no rain means no crop. Life is currently very hard for us, the farmers.
A lack of rain means that the crop cannot grow, the farmers cannot harvest, and don't have enough money to start over with another crop. Local authorities are reviewing policies in order to find solutions to help the farmers.
We advise farmers to use the dry land to raise low-cost crops. That's a short-term plan for now, so farmers can earn a living.
Experts predict that the problem might worsen over the coming decades as the intensity and duration of droughts will increase. The negative effects of climate change on agriculture are not unique to Vietnam, but are causing major concern globally.
Still to come on VTV News, Pharmacy and Healthcare Vietnam 2014, one of the largest annual trade fairs for medical services and equipment in Vietnam, has returned to Ho Chi Minh City. And Vietnamese traditional music of Cho Van singing presented in new style to approach foreigners.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Welcome back to VTV News live from Hanoi. Along with 130 countries and territories, Vietnam launched its nationwide campaign Clean Up the World on Wednesday in the northern province of Thái Nguyên. With the theme For a World Without Trash, Vietnam responds to the global campaign determined to reduce trash and improve local environments. The Ministries of Natural Resources and Environment is spearheading the campaign. At the opening ceremony, the Thái Nguyên People's Committee also announced prizes for a student video contest entitled Actions to Prevent Sea Level Rise. First started in Australia in 1989, the Clean Up the World campaign became an annual global event in 1993 and reached Vietnam a year later. On to other news, Pharmacy and Healthcare Vietnam, one of the largest annual trade fairs for medical services and equipment in Vietnam, has returned to Ho Chi Minh City. This year's fair draws the participations of over 350 enterprises from Vietnam and other countries like the United States, Japan, South Korea, Germany, and France. The fair focuses on various fields, including pharmaceutical production, technology for research and developments of drugs, ingredients, packaging, and medical equipment. Hospitals and clinics from across Vietnam also use these occasions to present their latest healthcare services and products. The fair will run until September the 26th at the Saigon Exhibitions and Convention Center. Now, Singaporean students have been participating in many volunteering activities in remote areas near the central city of Hue. These are very warm and friendly gestures towards citizens in and around Hue City from the international friends working to foster relations between Vietnam and Singapore.
Amanda, a student from Nghi An Polytechnic of Singapore, is working hard in this volunteer construction project. For the past 2 weeks, Amanda and her friends have tried their best to finish the fence for the kindergarten school in Quang Dien District, Thừa Thiên Huế Province. No one could ever think that this 50-meter fence was built by volunteer students.
It's actually a very good experience for us to try to build fences, especially for these kids, because in Singapore everything is just built for us, so we don't get to experience it firsthand. So for here, we can actually make a difference for them by helping to make their school nicer, to make it more beautiful, and to make it safer for them.
All 30 students from Singapore hope to contribute something to the remote areas of the province, hanging out with the children and helping them learn English, social skills. They are all unforgettable memories for these volunteers. The summer here is very hard, so I really appreciate more help in building the school. The volunteers worked very hard with much enthusiasm, and we, as the school, are very grateful. Meanwhile, this event for the free eye checks and glasses was held for the people living near Tam Giang Lagoon. Everybody is excited to see modern machines and get free treatments. More than 1,400 pairs of glasses, worth a total of $16,000, were brought by the Singaporean students and the Huế Arts Fund to the local people.
The goal of the program is not just to upgrade kindergarten facilities or provide free eye checks. We also provide opportunities for young students from both countries to exchange knowledge and experience to understand each other better.
The volunteering trip is near the end. All of the students said they would come back to Huế and Vietnam to continue their volunteering journey with all their hearts and enthusiasm.
Now on to some cultural news. Artists of the Ho Chi Minh City's ballet, symphony, orchestras and opera will represent Vietnam to take part in the Asia Orchestra Week 2014 held in Tokyo, Japan from October the 3rd to the 9th. At the event, Vietnamese musicians will perform the Nocturne Echoed from the Past by composer Do Hồng Quân. The second phase of Vietnamese performances in Tokyo will feature violinist Nguyễn Hữu Nguyên, who will play Tchaikovsky's Concerto D Major. Beethoven's Symphony No. 7 will also be performed. All of those items will be under the baton of conductor Trần Vương Thạch. Asia Orchestra Week has been held since 2002 and attracted famous orchestras from around the world every year. Vietnam's National Symphony's orchestras attended this event in 2004. The Bình Định Provincial People's Committees has reviewed and approved the applications to have Bai Choi folk songs recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. Unique to the coastal central region, Bai Choi singing is a traditional art form that is often heard at Spring Festival. The performance resembles a game that involves quirky improvisations, playing cards and running between village huts. Along with cultural and art merits, Bai Choi folk songs highlights traditional social ethics, educational values, and family love. Chầu văn or văn singing is a traditional folk art in northern Vietnam. Now, a Vietnamese band has come up with a new version of this ritual music that is drawing attention to tourists. We will find out more about this new melody in the following story by our reporter Phương Anh.
This is a popular image of original chầu văn that came into being 400 years ago. The main instrument is the moon-shaped lute. Without any electrical instrument, chầu văn still sounds upbeat.
Are you curious what a new version of chầu văn sounds like? I'm standing right in front of Hanoi Social Club in the Old Quarter, where traditional Vietnamese music will be given a modern twist. There will be performances putting different kinds of music together. So let's take a brief look at what it's like.
Living out the slow and graceful melody of original chầu văn, the upbeat version you just heard was revised by artist Thanh An and his ethnic music band. They have performed it in so many places, and he wants to bring chầu văn to broader audience.
I want to change the music a bit, mixing different melodies, learning from other chant singers, I've chosen a style for my own.
Yeah, it's really interesting, it's rhythmic, it's great. Yep.
I did see a movie at the Cinematheque based in Vietnam, and I heard a little bit of Vietnamese music there, but I've never seen it performed live before.
John Sylvan owns Hanoi Social Club. The Australian has been living in Hanoi for 5 years and has been organizing many music live shows. However, this one is special.
Most people think of Chau Van as something a little bit old-fashioned. I think most people's understanding of Vietnamese traditional music is something that's quite slow. So the purpose of this event is to show that it's not all slow.
Usually performed at temples and pagodas to honor the gods. Now, Chau Van is also presented in a coffee shop where it attracts many tourists. The new version of Chau Van has added to the variety of Vietnamese traditional genres. The Ministry of Culture, Sport and Tourism is applying to UNESCO to get Chau Van recognized as part of Vietnam's rich and intangible cultural heritage.
Liu Bao Chang cakes or rice cake is a special delicacy of Hương Hồ Ward, Hương Chai districts in the coastal central province of Thừa Thiên Huế. In the beginning of September, Thừa Thiên Huế recognized Liu Bao village as the traditional home of Chang cake. So let's find out more about this delicacy in the following.
Nguyễn Thắm, an 80-year-old artisan in Liu Bao village, comes from a family that has kept the Chang cake and Ướt cake making traditions the longest. The tradition has run in Tham's family for 5 generations. Inspired by Tham's passion, his children are continuing in his footsteps.
My family produces around 1,000 Chang cakes a day. I'm happy because my children are keeping the tradition of my family.
The tradition of making Chang cake and Ướt cake was established in the late 15th century in Liu Bao village. Since then, artisans have done their best to keep and develop the tradition. From small production, 144 households, including 62 specialized ones, now participate in the production all over the village. Recently, the Thừa Thiên Huế People Committee has recognized it as a traditional village of making Chang cake.
All of artisans in our village feel very happy and proud of it. We feel our efforts pay off for this recognition.
Not only artisans, but local authorities are also eager to develop their special products on a larger scale.
We are planning to encourage and direct artisan households to boost production by using modern machines and technologies. Moreover, we also ensure that our products meet environmental quality and food safety standards to strengthen the brand and expand markets.
Even after many years, Liu Bao's Chang cakes still retain their traditional flavors and earn more and more attention from all over the country.
And now it's time to take a look at the updated weather forecast. VTVNews has come to an end. If you'd like to rewatch our program, simply log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/VTV4Go. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you back here at 3 p.m. local time.